Green morning, green afternoon, green evening, and green good night to everybody world over. Let me start from the green morning of Canada, United States, and Latin America. All our brothers and sisters, those are located in that part of the world. We extend you a very warm welcome this morning to this international webinar, Making Education Relevant. We hope that you're taking care of your health, your wellness, and at the same time, you must be enjoying your morning jog, morning walk, holding a cup of coffee, or might be taking some exercise. Take care of your health, take care of your wellness. Wherever you are, world over, please, if you are mentally and physically fine, the whole world is fine because the universe starts with you, and that is the way it moves ahead. So from Canada, United States, and Latin America, let me move after a lovely lunch in the entire Europe. All my European brothers and sisters, having finished with your lunch this afternoon, you log in for our program. And before you go for your evening tea and coffee, let's spend about an hour plus time together where we talk about the global confluence of educators, motivators, counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, and all the people, including the technical people. They are very, very important for all of us because they give you the backup support to empower the entire education system. And this particular program from Europe, then I'm coming to Middle East and coming to Central Asia. All our brothers and sisters, friends, those have joined us from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan. We extend you a very hearty welcome. You're such a wonderful people. You join every day. At the same time, when I come to Middle East, I'm so grateful to people from Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Kuwait, Doha, Qatar, Oman, all the places which we have got over there in the Middle East. I'm so grateful to each one of you for logging in, for joining. Either you're coming on the webinar directly through the Zoom, or you're coming on the Facebook, Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page on the watch party. I'm so grateful. Thanks for joining us this evening. Thanks for empowering this evening. It's a yet another very powerful evening, which we all are going to further make it better for the entire humanity across the globe in different continents. So from Central Asia, Middle East, and all that, I bring it to Bharat. Namaskar, Vanakkam, Namaskaran, wherever you are, we extend you a very hearty welcome. आप सबका आज शाम को इस पर्टिकुलर वेबिनार में स्वागत है, भव्य स्वागत है, हृदय से स्वागत है और आप सबको नमन करते हुए हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं आज के कार्यक्रम में। आइए शिक्षा को प्रासंगिक बनाएं, जीवन संचालन कौशल की बात करें, लाइफ मैनेजमेंट स्किल्स की बातचीत करें। ये वही भारत है, वही महान भारत है जहां पर बहुत सारे गीत, बहुत सारा संगीत, बहुत सारा म्यूजिक, और जहां पर विश्व की पहली इंटरनेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी, वर्ल्ड की पहली यूनिवर्सिटी, रेजिडेंशियल यूनिवर्सिटी, जहां पर 10,000 से ज्यादा बच्चे डिफरेंट कंट्रीज के आके पढ़ रहे और 2,000 से ज्यादा आचार्य है, that is called the Nalanda University. During this lockdown period time, I got an opportunity to go through so much of text and material related to Nalanda. It's a mind-blowing, it's a phenomenal how much and what all subjects were being taught in Nalanda. Those of us who have not gone through the literature, I would humbly request you, if you really want to understand India's power in education, then you must see Nalanda, what it used to be Nalanda University. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from India, I take you to Southeast Asia, all the ASEAN countries, our brothers and sisters, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. When we talk from Myanmar to Cambodia, Cambodia to Laos, Laos to Singapore, Singapore to Thailand, Thailand to Malaysia, Malaysia to Indonesia, Indonesia to Philippines, Philippines to Brunei, and then of course beyond ASEAN, when I move, I take you to Bahrain also, beautiful country where we get lots of people joining us every evening. And of course, Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji, in that part of the world, let them enjoy beautiful sleep and let them dream about today's subject, hospitality, tourism, and aviation, and of course, MICE industry, we will talk in detail. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also starting a new trend from today. Each day with our panelists, we will also get 8 and 10 youth, 8 and 10 students. Because do you remember that 15th of July is coming, World Skill Day, World Youth Day, and all of you together, it's a youth, those are going to bring change in the entire universe and in the entire world. So ladies and gentlemen, hearty welcome to global confluence of educators and motivators with the best practices in education, innovation, and research for empowering the entire education ecosystem with a focus on developing the competencies among the central focus of education, our handsome and beautiful youth of the world. They are the future. Ladies and gentlemen, our chamber, International Chamber for Service Industry, since 1994, when we are linked with the non-resident Indians abroad, today we have got 30 million Indians serving abroad. They are doing lots of good job. They have not only generated technical know-how, but they have generated employment, they have generated revenue, they bring a lot of FDI, FII, and everything to India. So every evening, we bring the confluence of the global family, Vasudev Kutumbakam, when we talk from India. So all of us together, Monday to Friday, we talk about empowering the entire education ecosystem. And on every Saturday, we talk about Ayurveda for the global wellness, yoga, meditation, naturopathy, nutrition, good food. And you all have to make a commitment to me because I'm your grandpa also, I'm your pa also, and I'm of that age group. You've got to be true to myself and to me and to yourself. No junk food, please. Eat good food, good health, good nutrition, good values, and remain healthy and robust. Now, this is a difficult time through which we all are passing because it's a lockdown period. And during the COVID-19, the entire process of the world is affected. Business is affected. Physical and mental health is affected. And the main part of the universe, when I talk about the young children, small kiddies, boys and girls, and my young students, those are going to school, colleges, institutions, universities, polytechnic, ITIs, and special management institutes, engineering institutes, hospitality institutes. They all are being affected at this point of time. But anyway, we have to come out of this particular difficult period because 1.6 billion children world over at present are away from their institutions. India always believes, and that's why we bring every evening for you, and we are building up the global fraternity and ecosystem where all teachers, professors, vice chancellors, directors, principals, educators, technical experts, counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, and policymakers, whosoever is directly or indirectly associated with the education system, we all get together, and the vision is by 15th of August, we will have 1 million educators and the youth of the world together as a part of this particular program. Each day, couple of thousand people are joining. Each day, the whole system and the ecosystem is developing because we believe in global education, collaboration, Vasudev Kutumbakam, one world, one love, and one family, all of us together, ladies and gentlemen. The Western school of thought, when we talk about, they say, what is the purpose of education? They give first preference to economic, second is social, then the cultural, and then the personal. But when we talk about to India, we always talk about our heritage, our cultural values, our civilization, old civilization, and norms and art, craft, handicraft, and dances, music, cuisine, people, tribes, what all we have got. So culture, social norms, they play a very important role. And then comes the economic part. And fourth is every child has to decide why are they studying one particular subject, whether arts, commerce, science, vocationals, or specialization, whatsoever they do. During the lockdown COVID-19, all teachers, entire education fraternity is trying their level best through different modes of technology, whether TV channels, community radio, mobile phones, electronic gadgets, whatever is possible. Every educator world over is trying their level best that somehow we should reach our children wherever they are. Our chamber also, in a humble way, we are beaming every day world over. There's a global finishing school being set up by our chamber, and this is to empower the teachers, educators, and of course the youth globally. We use basic therapy called music therapy, communication skills, connecting skills, digital literacy, basics of sales, marketing, customer service, PR, empathy, anti-depression, stress management, anxiety management, how to remain happy all the times, laugh as much as you can, wellness and holistic healing, all leading to life management skills. That part is very important. Now, what is the purpose of education? Is it just to earn few chips or education for life? You got to decide. You want to have education for living or you want to have education for life. That part is very important, which we have to understand. Education has to be relevant to our day-to-day life. Parents, you have got a very important role to play at this point of time. Our small kiddies, our middle-aged teenagers, grown-up, everybody is locked. They are away from their educational hubs. So, parents, you have got a very important role. Try and give them, spend time with them, and make the relevance of the education best possible way. क्या बच्चे घर का टैप ठीक कर सकते हैं, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का ट्यूबलाइट ठीक कर सकते हैं, घर का फ्यूज चेंज कर सकते हैं, घर के अंदर जो गैजेट्स हैं उनको ठीक कर सकते हैं, किचन गार्डन में आपको मदद कर सकते हैं, क्या आप घर में ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग कर सकते हैं, क्या आप रूफ टॉप के ऊपर वेजिटेबल्स को ग्रो कर सकते हैं. ट्राई एंड गिव पॉजिटिविटी, ट्राई एंड रिमेन हैप्पी, music therapy, enjoy best possible way, and at the same time make education relevant. This is the time when parents can devote a time. I consider my teachers as facilitators and motivators and actors. Role of a teacher is that of stage management, vocal management, content management, passion, creativity, presence of mind, empathy, and all my teachers are celebrities because they are doing wonderful job like doctors, nurses, and paramedical people. These people are also doing wonderful job. But finally, the entire purpose of education system is we have to understand what does youth want, what are their expectations, and what are they looking forward to, what is their thought process, how to keep youngsters all the time happy and engaged in a positive, constructive, and a beautiful, creative way. Let's understand youth. Parents and educators, very humble request. What's lost when you rush kids through childhood? Don't pressurize them to learn too much at the early age of life. Let them grow in a natural way, because ultimately education has got a purpose. And the entire purpose of education is, what does today's youth want? These millennials, those are born with the gadgets, with the technocrats, technology. They have got wonderful ideas. Listen to them, talk to them, get their ideas, get their creativity. That can bring lot of development in the entire process. Honorable Prime Minister of India has already opened the channel for the youth. You must have seen what awards and rewards has been kept by the government of India. Every youth, I would encourage you as a fatherly figure, try and aspire for that. Work in that direction. You are the one, those are going to bring change in the world. It's youth, youth, and youth. They are very important for all of us. But at the same time, how to make teaching career more attractive? Do teaching profession deserves a repositioning? This question we all have to answer, because teachers need not to go for extra coaching, extra classes anywhere outside. Why do we require extra coaching? Earlier, we never used to appreciate when coaching used to be there outside. We used to consider that the child is weak. Nobody is weak. Every child is born with a special qualities and creativity. It is up to us how we chisel, how we polish, how we develop, and how we take out the creativity out of every child. At the same time, teachers should not be engaged more in the administrative work. They should go exclusively for bringing out the best from the teaching methodologies. At the same time, there has to be a pool of counselors. Outside, when you go in Europe, America, other countries, they call psychiatrists. I say counselors. These counselors are very important people. They play a very important role. How to take out the creativity of every child, that should be the concern. There is nobody on this planet who has come without some quality. Each one of us, we are different. God has made all of us different. We all have got only one thing common, that is 24 hours in a day, and whosoever makes best use of that, you go ahead of others. Now, how to make education more collaborative, not competitive? Why children should or youngsters should compete too much with each other? Parents, don't compel your children for the gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, 99% marks and all. No, start appreciating your children. They have got wonderful qualities. How to make education more amusing, fun, stimulating, rewarding, interesting, innovative. And I always say gamification in education is a future. The only thing is the game manufacturing companies should produce constructive, positive, creative games. That's very important. Music therapy. I always appreciate people who love music. They are lovable people. They are wonderful people. They work as a lubricant in society. They remove friction from the society, and they are very positive people. Music education, music therapy should be the integral part of irrespective art, science, commerce, medical, non-medical, whatever you are studying. At the same time, do students require supervision all the times? Dr. Sugata Mitra's videos we must see. Can kids teach themselves? This man has done a wonderful experiment. He's a product of IIT Delhi. He went to MIT in US. Thereafter, he went to UK. And he has done in his hometown, in one wall, he fixed 2 computers without anybody training anyone. And he put one camera on the top where everything is being recorded over there. Or ek mahine ke baad, after 1 month, mind-blowing ideas generated from the youth. Ladies and gentlemen, we started our humble journey from the chamber on 5th of June 2020, and we will continue till 15th of August. All the youngsters, all the teachers, all the educators, those have joined, take a pledge to yourself. You'll bring more and more people in this fraternity. You'll bring more and more people on this webinar. You'll bring more and more people on the Facebook Live, because we are empowering the entire education system. The next global crisis are going to be on water. There is going to be lot of misunderstanding world over, because you will have water shortage. You will have water crisis. So water conservation is very important for all of us, and how education can make us more nature and environment friendly. It's very important. School, colleges, university, all the time. And all my young children, all my boys and girls, wherever you are, wherever you're watching this particular program, wherever you are in the world, you are the best people on this planet. You're the most powerful people on this planet. All power is within you. From today, from this webinar, start feeling, start thinking, start realizing you have got so much of power inside you. You do not know. You're a powerhouse. You're a powerhouse. Take out that energy. Use that in a positive way, constructive way, innovative way, creative way, collaborative way. The world is so big. There is no competition. It's only collaboration. That's the way we have to all work. Every Saturday morning, Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. we are bringing education. But Saturday morning, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Every Saturday morning, 9:30 to 11, International Buddhist Confederation, Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, great visionary, great man who has got an idea, 500 million followers world over of Buddhism. What does Buddha convey? And how there is a relevance of Buddha's teaching in today's education. Each one of you, when you get a time, just see any video for 5 minutes, you will get glued. I have seen more than 60 videos during this lockdown period. Every Saturday evening, Monday to Friday education empowerment, Saturday Ayurveda for global wellness. You get expert every Saturday evening. Tomorrow evening you log in, and you will get to know a lot of ideas. A lot of people are coming tomorrow evening. Those are going to discuss about how to look young, how to remain young, how to talk young, how to feel young, how to sleep young, how to get up young, all the time, young, 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 young. That part is very important. I'm 70-year-old, but that energy which I carry is of 20-year-old boy because of my lifestyle, because of my food habits, because of yoga, because of wellness therapies and holistic healing all the time. You got to be positive, 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 positive. That is very important. Now, Sunday morning, who says Sunday should be a holiday? Sunday should be more productive. We bring you entire Kurukshetra, Mahabharat. You must have seen the serial. Every Sunday morning, there is a professor who comes from America, Woodbury University, Burbank, USA, living a meaningful life, Srimad Bhagavad Gita in today's education. All examples which are relevant to our education system through Gita, we bring it to you on Sunday morning from Professor Satyendra Diman. And Sunday evening, we take you to 650 million people in 10 countries of the ASEAN, what we call Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, our president of the ICSI International Chamber for Service Industry, he's in Bangkok in Thailand. Before that, the head was in US. And now under the dynamic leadership of Dato Ramesh Kodamalji, the co-chairman of India ASEAN Business Council, we bring 650 million people together from all the 10 countries, how to empower education, joint research, student exchange, faculty exchange, collaborative efforts, whatever is possible, we are trying to bring it in education. And for all my youth, you should know 15th of July is the most important day for all my young boys and girls. 15th of July is being celebrated world over as a World Youth Skills Day. We are starting a very special program. We are getting 50,000 youth together on YES program. That's a youth empowerment strategies. And we have decided now every day, and from 15th onward again, we will bring 8 to 10 students and youth every day with our panelists, and they will get a time for 2 minutes each at the end of the panel to ask something directly. And the most creative questions and most innovative thought process of the month will get some award and rewards also. And mind you, all of you, those are watching this particular program, if you log in, even if you're on the Facebook, you can just send on the chat party. When you log into Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page, put your name over there, put your email over there, put your cell number over there. We send you e-certificate by the email to you, because we know that you're logged in and you're watching this particular program. So 15th of July, this is going to be a very special evening. And from that day onward, we are starting a new journey for all of you, youth empowerment strategies. This is the research which our chamber has carried out from the last week of March. And this particular research shows that B2B will be no more known as business to business. It will be known as back to basics of life. And we say back to basics means your food, your basic agriculture, your animal husbandry, and anything which is a basic of life is very important. You got to start growing that. You got to start consuming basic things of life. Start eating less. Do not consume too much. This body has got so much of potential energy to move on with not having 3 meals all the time. It's not required. During the lockdown, I'm taking only 1 meal and I'm more happy. And then comes health and wellness. Think positive, live positive, talk positive, holistic healing, and do some yoga, meditation, naturopathy. And third part, the education system will never get back to what it used to be in January and February. We are going to get a blended learning. The digital education, e-learning is going to be very important for the future for all of us. The classroom, how it is to be blended, that is a learn and earn, and of course, sustainable development we got to be taking care of. And before I introduce this evening's celebrity of ours, I wish to share this slide with you. This is very important for us, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever human mind can conceive and believe, each boy and a girl, those are watching this particular program, and all educators world over, whatever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. You got to first conceive the idea, you got to believe in the idea, then you can achieve the idea. There is nothing impossible in this world. Anything is achievable. Let's come together for global education empowerment. International Chamber for Service Industry extends you a very hearty and a very warm welcome. Come as a panelist, give your suggestions. You can send at our email innovation@ICSI.Asia. We have also got 2 WhatsApp numbers over here, so you're more than welcome. And with these words, ladies and gentlemen, I extend a very warm welcome to my celebrities this evening. Those are going to make this evening glittering, beautiful, sparkling, captivating, and of course, you are from the hospitality. So in a your coining, if I say intoxicating, and of course, scintillating, all the parts have to come together. So let me just roll and introduce all my distinguished guests. So today's focus is going to be tourism, hospitality, aviation, and MICE industry, because these industries are having big challenges during this particular COVID-19, because entire hospitality industry, tourism industry, aviation industry, and the MICE industry, that is your event industry, has to think about new pedagogies and new norms which will be normal for the world. So ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very hearty welcome this evening to our distinguished guests. Those have joined and they are celebrities. Those are with us this evening. We have got Col K C Menon. He's a senior HR consultant, ITC Limited, former regional head HR South Asia Hotel Division. Col Menon is a services veteran. He comes from the armed forces. Col Menon had his first career of over 2 decades with the Indian Army. He's a proud soldier. His second career was with the hospitality industry, 15 years with the ITC hotels as an HR professional, and for over a decade involved with all ITC hotel startups, retired as a regional head South. He is currently engaged with informal assignments in the educational sector, particularly management institutions of the service industry. His areas of interest are professionalism, business ethics, integrity, trust, motivation, sustainability, CSR, that is corporate social responsibility, mentoring, youth HR professionals, and I've also extended a very warm welcome to him. We would soon make him as a part of the ICSI from southern part of India. I hold the entire South in great, great respect, right? My Tamil Nadu, my Kerala, my Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and all the places what I have got in that part of the country, India, Bharat, when I talk about, these people are wonderful. They are so hospitable people. They're so warm people. I have enjoyed so much of warmth and hospitality of down south. They are amazing people. I hold them in the great, great respect. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we have also been joined, and you are seeing over here in the chef dress, but when you will see him live on the screen, you will say, wow, what a handsome young professor as a principal of the Welcome Group Graduate School of Hotel Administration. We extend a very hearty welcome to Professor Chef K. Thiru. He is a principal at the Welcome Group Graduate School of Hotel Administration. He's an accomplished chef, an outstanding academician, a conversant leader, and a proficient administrator with 30 years of expertise and experience, both in the hotel operations as well as academics, because both the areas have got specialities and they have got their own specialization. He possesses several honors and awards in the field of culinary and hospitality pedagogy. We extend a very hearty welcome to Professor K. Thiru, because he's a wonderful, when I interacted with him, I found him so warm and so good, because first we are in hospitality industry. And also let me remind you, nowadays when you talk about hospitality, the hospitals, those are giving wonderful service to the people. There is not much of difference in the warmth and hospitality and hospitals, because everywhere in the service industry. So my boys and girls, you are needed besides the hospitality in the health and wellness sector also, where you can have a great future for yourself. I also extend a very hearty welcome to Dr. V Jaykumar. He's a chairperson, hospitality and event management, and a professor, Department of Management Studies at the PES University, Bangalore, Karnataka. He is a PhD in tourism management, certified wine and spirit trainer. I think when I say wine and spirit, a lot of us must be having sparkling eyes this evening. Certified wine and spirit trainer from the Wine and Spirit Education Trust, London. Featured in the Flying Winemaker Series Bangalore episode on Discovery, Travel and Living 2014. Featured in Travel Earth at Mixology Specialist, titled Spirit of the World 2018. Wow. Featured on NDTV Good Times, columnist and author in various newspapers, brand consultant for hotel and restaurant, lounges and bars. And welcome Dr. V Jaykumar from People's Education Society, University, Bangalore, Karnataka. And pleasant surprise to all my children world over. We are starting a new pedagogy and we are starting a new innovative technique from today. Here are my young boys and girls. Hearty welcome to the hospitality students. We have got Miss Varsha Anil, Miss Maiti Chetan Shah, Miss Aishwarya S, Miss Swati Suresh, and at the same time, I have also got with me over here, let me just read out his name once again, the slide for the boys, why the slides get lost. When for the girls, it read very well. I think I got to stop screening, no problem. My boys, I will mention your name here directly. I have got Mr. Dhanyajeet Kanhangad. He is from Kerala. Hearty welcome to him. He has joined us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And at the same time, we have also been joined by Shahid, Umer, and we have been joined by Mr. Ghaghan Lokesh. So hearty welcome to all of you. Thank you very much. What a pleasure to have all of you with us. Thanks a lot. And we start our wonderful evening. And this evening, I would like to extend first a very warm welcome to Col K C Menon, Senior HR Consultant, ex-ITC, to start his evening, to share his thought process. 8 to 10 minutes he'll share. And thereafter, I would request Professor K. Thiru, and then I would request Dr. V. Jaykumar, and thereafter, I'll have my 7 boys and girls, wonderful children. They will share their thought process with us. Each one of them will get about 2 minutes time, and they can ask any question. And if they give some suggestion also, it will be wonderful to listen to them. With these words, I extend a very hearty welcome, and you can unmute your mic, Col K C Menon. And yes, there you are, and a very hearty welcome. And I mute.
Thank you very much, sir. It is a pleasure to always hear you. You are warm and magnanimous as always. I feel delighted to be part of this initiative. A big thank you to all the participants. I must tell you ab initio that I am not an expert. Dr. Gulshan Sharma is always generous with his words. I will only share with you what have done in life, my life skills, and mainly my work experience in 2 of the best organizations of the country. I was fortunate to have worked in the Indian Army in the field of selection, and thereafter with ITC Limited as an HR professional. In both these, I could have the opportunity to interact with youth, visit campuses, be part of campus interviews, take part in their discussions, and generally understand them well. The concept of holistic education appeals to me immensely if it is correctly done in letter and spirit. I recall all these wonderful principals who spoke about these past few days and spoke about very, very good concepts: emotional intelligence, self-adjustment, self-regulation, empathy, and all those skills, concepts of design thinking, concept of mindset, growth mindset, and practical life skills. I was particularly happy to note about life skills because I could relate to it. I liked the very humorous example of changing of tire because I could relate to it. I made it as a precondition before I taught my daughter driving. Today's our panel from Bangalore, South India. I was worried because Dr. Gulshan Sharma spoke so much about becoming young and young. We have a very young chef principal, Chef Thiru. If he becomes younger, he looks younger than his students. We have that equally charismatic Dr. Jaykumar. Since they were going to speak about the issues, problems, challenges, and the way ahead for hospitality and event management fields, I thought I must speak on something to do with it. Hence, I chose the topic grit. Now, being an old-timer, I thought I must start with a dictionary meaning, then move on to modern psychology, what they call as positive psychology. Thereafter, intersperse it with life examples based on my experience, actual experiences which I had. Permit me to share screen so that I can come to the dictionary meaning.
Wonderful. We can see you.
Thank you, sir. Firstly, the dictionary meaning: firmness of mind or spirit, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. Moving on to positive psychology, I must tell you of this amazing and remarkable lady, Dr. Angela Duckworth, American academic, psychologist, and popular science author, associated with Character Lab, which has got a mission of advancing science and practice of character development. Most importantly, she's a MacArthur Foundation Genius Awardee, and she researches non-IQ competencies, including grit and self-control. Very interesting background. Youngest of 3 children of Chinese immigrant parents, very well educated. Her father was a PhD in chemistry, very ambitious as well as achievement oriented. He used to always challenge his children. He used to tell young Angela, "You are no genius. I'm sure you can do better." All this made her develop a sort of a stubborn streak. In case you told her that you can't do it, she made sure that she will do it. After an excellent school career and college, where she graduated in biology, and at the same time being involved in a lot of community work, teaching students, she moved on to a year of management consulting. After having done that for a year, she thought it is not good enough and not challenging. So she moved on to teaching, her first love, teaching the underprivileged. She was assigned to New York public schools and was teaching the grade 7 mathematics. She soon realized that the only difference between her best and worst students was not only IQ. Some of her best performers did not have good IQ. Similarly, some of her most gifted students were not doing well. She thought she needs to go further into this. She soon realized that every one of her students was capable of doing well if they worked hard and long enough. She thought she needed to do something about it. She thought that having good IQ may only make sure that they can understand faster and better, but it did not mean success in school or later on in life. She thought learning and students has to be seen from a motivational perspective as well as psychological perspective. So she thought she should move on and learn psychology. She went on to the university, and in her research, she worked on both adults as well as children. In different contexts, difficult situations, she went to the West Point Military Academy to see military training. In all these areas, what she saw was she wanted to know who did best and why. Military training is known to be tough. West Point Military Academy is the training for officers for the US Army. Their first term is called Beast Barracks, and you have many dropouts. Her study was oriented who would drop out and who would complete the training. Next, she studied National Spelling Bee. She and her team tried to predict which student would go the farthest. They studied rookie teachers working in difficult neighborhoods to see who would be there till the end of the year, and amongst those who would bring in the best learning outcomes from their students. She studied sales of private companies to see which salesperson would keep his job and how much money would he earn. She also went and administered grit questionnaires in Chicago public schools to students, thousands of them, and went and checked after a year to see which ones of them graduated. She realized that it was the grittier students, it was who were likely to have completed their graduation. Her research pointed out that for achievement and for the single most ingredient of achievement and success was not good looks, it was not health, it was not IQ, it was not social intelligence, but it was grit. Let us see what she meant by grit. Grit is passion and perseverance towards very long-term achievements. It is having stamina. It is sticking with your future day after day, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years, and working really hard to make that future a reality. Living life like a marathon, not a sprint. When we speak about military academy, I recall one cadet who was there with us in one of our military trainings in my initial years. We were supposed to do a run, which was supposed to be a race, a 40-kilometer run, carrying 20 kg of weight in our battle gear and weapons. The person who came first was incidentally a cadet called Astana. He weighed merely 45 kgs and carried 20 kgs of weight, beating everyone hollow. What an example of endurance. When we speak about perseverance and passion, I cannot but help think of my college days. We had a young student, Hari, who joined us in the first year. He came from a remote village in Kerala. I think it was district Palakkad. He was new to Pune and did not know much of the local language Hindi. Came from the suburbs, an absolute simple person, generally dressed in a half shirt, carrying a sling bag. And I remember his watch very clearly with the chain. I think it was an HMT watch which he wore. Hari was unique and very different. While we, in every break, were off to our various pursuits, Hari was off to the library. He was poring generally over research books, reference books, and trying to learn maximum. While we studied for our exams, Hari concentrated on his studies and worked for knowledge. Exams came, we did very well. Hari performed with much lesser marks. However, he was always satisfied and never had any complaint. And he continued in his ways. I remember one instance when someone asked Hari in that typical Pune slang, "Kitna bach gaya?" Prompt was Hari's reply, keeping his mind his Hindi, "Malum nahi." Hari and me, we finished our graduation. He went to the university to get an MSc in chemistry, and I went to the military academy. After graduation, he moved on to some small jobs, leave vacancy jobs. I think it was like demonstrators. We kept in touch for a few years, and then I came to know that he has moved on and migrated abroad. I did not hear from him for almost 30 years, till he called me about a decade back from Bangalore. When I was in Bangalore, I was very surprised to get his call, a very different Hari, a very different accent, sounding totally different. He told me that he had Googled and got to know about me and located me. I did similar. I was pleasantly surprised that there were at least 35 patents attributed to him. And he was a research scientist in one of the big organizations in the United States of America. We keep in constant touch. He comes and stays with me, and we speak almost every weekend. I always tell Hari, you left us far behind and moved ahead. Today, his area of research is environmental friendly fluorocarbons with zero ozone depletion potential. Hari has moved a long way, and he's a true grit paragon. When I think of people like Hari, I always think there must have been someone who created that motivation in him, that intrinsic motivation. See, normally it is either an elder in your home or it is a teacher. They are such teachers and elders who make you go beyond the call of duty to do more than what we have to do, not because they tell us, but because we want to do it. Such intrinsic motivators are people who create Haris. I want to go to my next story, a teacher. And I'm sure there are many much such teachers in the audience who are listening to me. She started her career very young, age of, I think, barely 18, with a diploma in education. An excellent teacher. She moved on to study, do her graduation, post-graduation, English, and in education. On completion of 20 years, she quit after becoming eligible for a pension and moved on to become the principal of a school, started a junior college. In the meanwhile, she raised her family, has two good daughters who are doing exceedingly well themselves, did everything, whatever was required. Took on the challenge of nursing a sick institution back to health. In 5 years' time, after retirement, became the director of a society which had schools, mentoring the principals, teachers, and always teaching English. Even today, she is doing so at the age of 70 and taking on the lower economic strata. Teachers are like gods. They create so much and they do so much. They pick on their weaker students, make them do objective in parts, make them have small wins so that they succeed. They give them challenges, praise their work, do not praise the individuals so that they don't become complacent. Coming back to Angela, Angela always said that it is effort and it is not talent. She said that talent, as shown in her research, there is no relationship between talent and achievement. And in fact, many a time there is an inverse relationship, because what happens is people who are having talent, many of them do not follow through on their commitments and they don't put in the effort. She says that talent times effort gives skill and skill times efforts give achievement. When I think of what she said, I think of this concept of deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is a concept which positive psychologists speak about it. They say to do well and become world class, you need to put in at least 10,000 hours of sustained quality work, not quantity, because such people are people like world class swimmers, artists like ballerinas. They try to improve every hour and try to excel. Take the example of students who are on that spelling bee competition. The students who do well are not the ones who have worked the maximum. They are students who do not concentrate on what they know. They pick on difficult parts and work on it and improve. What Angela says is, as far as today, we don't have any definite idea how to enhance grit. There's nothing scientific. She only speaks about possibly there is one relation. What she says is there is a concept developed by Dr. Dweck on growth mindset. But before we go on to growth mindset, I'm reminded of when we speak about deliberate practice, again, a story of the military academy. We had a cadet whose name was Balwant. Balwant was, of course, senior to me. Just like how Hari was, he was a different type of person. Whenever he had time, we could see him doing first class rope or on the chin-up bar or even in his room doing chin-ups or what I would say push-ups. While the excellent standard of chin-ups was 16, he would start counting after doing 100. I never met Balwant after my graduation from the academy, but I learned that he became a lieutenant general and an army commander. I am told he remained the same. Again, another grit paragon. Coming back to growth mindset, it's a concept developed by Carol Dweck from the Stanford University. She says that you tend to improve if you put in effort, and growth never stops. It has got nothing to do with your age. She says once children comes to know that the brain tends to grow and develop once you confront it with problems, children do not view failures as a stopping. They think because you will keep improving if you keep working. There are so many teachers and educationists over here. I would like to dwell on some thoughts on enhancing grit. What she said that to enhance grit, we do not have any way of enhancing grit, any scientific method. Only growth mindset was a concept. They are still doing research on the subject, but we could do certain things. Teachers encouraging small wins, perfect the art of praising. I particularly like the concept of yet or not yet. An American institution I read about, they do not grade persons as failure. They say not yet. This creates in their students a spirit that they are a few steps away from yet. What a wonderful concept. While we may not be able to make all our students and our children world class, definitely we can develop and make us develop an interest, a capacity for deliberate practice. Make them pursue goals which they find interesting and meaningful. Parents particularly need to support, but make sure to provide challenges. Look at Angela's father. Had he not kept challenging her, what would she be? Most importantly, you need to own your goals, because if it is a goal of a teacher, of a parent, and not that of the student, it is definitely not grit. I recall an interview of an American celebrity, Jane Golden. Now, Jane Golden did work on murals. She is world famous and well-known figure. And she's again a grit paragon. Her father said that about her, that Jane was like a dog with a bone. If she took on something, she was like a dog with doggedness, and never give it up. Can we as parents and educators make our children similar, make them not give up, let them not think that failure is a setback, think that you need to be tenacious, need to be grittier. In case you fall, there will be falls because failure is also a part of life. When you fall forward because it is only when you fall forward you move ahead. I had taken this opportunity to speak to you all on my thoughts on grit. As I said earlier, I am no expert. We can only think of ways and means how to make our children grittier and how to be grittier ourselves in these difficult days. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Col K C Menon. Wonderful, because grit is very important, and where you mentioned about passion and perseverance, yes. And I have watched a lot of videos of this lady. They are wonderful. And those of us, those are interested to really understand grit, you can watch more videos. And it's very kind of Col Menon to share his thought process with us. Ladies and gentlemen, now let me invite Professor Chef K. Thiru, and one of the most prestigious institution where I had gone with the late Yogi Deveshwarji, and also my senior from the Armed Forces, Major Rahman. It's a wonderful setup. If you go to ITC Welcome Group's Institute and you see what a wonderful institution, what they have got, the Manipal Academy of Higher Education and YGSHA, yes, that's wonderful. Welcome Group, Graduate School of Hotel Administration. With these words, I extend a very hearty welcome to Professor Thiru. At present, of course, hospitality industry is passing through a difficult patch. So I can understand, but well, always there are solutions, new avenues, new opportunities, and children, those are world over, watching this particular program. Yes, we got to come up, because whenever you have some kind of a difficulty, you had 2008 world recession, world difficulty, financial crisis, and you had Ola, you had Uber, you had Airbnb, a lot of new things that come up at that point of time. So with these words, I extend a very hearty welcome to Professor Chef K. Thiru. Kindly share your views, Principal Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Gulshan Sharma. Good evening, everyone. On the outset, I would like to thank International Chambers for Service Industry for inviting me to be part of this webinar. My heartfelt thanks to Dr. Gulshan Sharma for giving me this opportunity. Special thanks to Colonel Menon for introducing Dr. Gulshan Sharma to me. Thank you, Colonel Menon, for your wonderful presentation. You narrated beautiful story. To begin with, first and foremost, I request all the parents to provide moral support to your wards. As you all know, this pandemic has changed everyone's lives. I understand that all of you must have high expectations and dreams for your ward. But these are challenging times. I'm sure every child has the potential to challenge themselves during this pandemic. They just need motivation. Give them an opportunity to decide what they would like to do in their lives. Dear students, we are going through a situation handling of which remains unknown to anyone. Each one of you has great aspirations. Please don't give up on them. Please give me a minute. Dear students, you had a formal education over the past 15 or 16 years, and it is a time for you to be your best. First, you must develop the mindset to achieve excellence. It is a journey, not a destination, and you must set goals to achieve excellence. Excellence paves the way for improvement, while perfection paves the way for stagnation, limiting one's creativity and innovation. However, excellence tolerates mistakes and failures, thus allowing people to explore and experiment, and in turns paving the way for excellence. Excellence is feasible and possible, while perfection is a fantasy and often difficult to attain. Excellence is a pleasure, while perfection is pressure. I have some suggestions for all of you. I hope you will be benefited. I'm going to give you a few examples of my students who have achieved what what they set out or more. I have observed certain character traits that they possess that set them apart. I'll be highlighting these particular traits. Chef Nikhil Nagpal is an award-winning chef. Currently, Nikhil Nagpal is the head chef at India's finest progressive South Indian restaurant at Avartana, ITC Grand Chola, Chennai. Since then, Nikhil was part of pre-opening team for ITC Grand Chola and has led the team for the busiest main kitchen at the hotel. He has also headed the kitchen operation at India's largest pillarless five-star hotel convention center at ITC Grand Chola. With over 15 years of experience with ITC hotels, he specialized in creating luxuries, Southern Indian flavors at Avartana. He was my student who graduated in the year 2004. Chef Nikhil, during his college days, he wanted to pursue his career in the kitchen. Apart from his regular classes, he used to work early mornings and late evenings in the students' mess to have additional exposure on knife skills, bulk cooking, local cuisines. He always volunteered to cook in the food festivals, gala dinners, and events alike. He was part of gastronomy club where they cooked during the weekends for the students in the student mess. He was highly interested in balancing F&B service and food production. You know, sometimes many students, when they try to specialize in kitchen or F&B service, they would not go to other department. But Nikhil had decided to balance the both departments. But unknown to him years later, these skills helped him become the first chef and restaurant manager when On the Rocks started in 2009 at Park Sheraton, Chennai. This was the first milestone in his life, and his passion and commitment as rewarded. And he won several awards, to name a few: Travel and Leisure Delicious Food Awards 2018, Best South Indian Restaurant 2018, 2019, 2020, and list go on. Coming to another interesting young chef, who's Rakesh Singh Anand. Rakesh graduated in the year 2004. From the beginning, his studies, he had decided to specialize in kitchen. His first internship at one of the five-star hotels, Bangalore, was interesting. He was asked to work in a front office, but his passion was to work in the kitchen. He tried to persuade the training manager, but he wasn't given a chance. He decided to be smart about it. According to the hotel policy, people with tonsured heads cannot work in front office. So he decides to go ahead to tonsure his head. Despite his efforts, he wasn't allowed in the kitchen, and they shifted him to night audit support. Finally, he had asked executive chef permission to work in the kitchen after his night shift and days, during his off days. He asked the chef for a chance to work in a specialty restaurant there. But chef was, the only one condition: you need to prove yourself. But it gone for almost close to 3 to 4 weeks. Rakesh received, appreciation from sous chefs and the kitchen staff. Here is a person who believed himself and perceived to get into kitchen, and is now head chef at Rashika Western, Washington, DC, USA. Another interesting story about Chef Rahul Kulkarni. There will be several constraints and obstacles in the path to achieve excellence. Some are internally created by human errors, and many are externally created by forces beyond human control. Hence, learn to manage both external and internal forces and factors that prevent from you achieving excellence. Rahul has joined management training in one of the leading hotel chains in India. After his management training, he got posted in Mumbai, one of the flagship property of that particular hotel chain. But day to day, he had so much issues with his immediate boss. He was interested to specialize in Indian cuisine, but due to internal politics, he was not allowed to work in the kitchen. 10 months went by. He was unhappy about the department what was given to him. One day, feeling really low, being utterly disinterested on his job, and he went to cafeteria. He started crying. Then cafeteria chef asked him why, what went wrong. He said, "I'm very interested in kitchen, Indian kitchen, but I'm been asked to do in Gadmanja, which is not in my, but it is not in my favor." So, but what happened? He could convince cafeteria chef that during off days, and he wanted to work in cafeteria. Cafeteria chef said, "Okay, please, you come. When is your next off?" He said that this week off will be on this weekend. So he asked him to come over to the cafeteria, and then he given a chance to work in cafeteria. He continued to work for more than 6 months during his off days, and people could see there is so much changes in cafeteria food, and the people started appreciating that one particular day why the food it's so tasty. Then the message went to GM, and the GM asked Rahul to come for a morning meetings with his executive chef. Then when interaction on that morning meeting, GM asked which kitchen you would like to work and why you wanted to go and work in the staff cafeteria. Then he narrated his problems. Then GM asked chef to give him a chance in Indian kitchen. Later, Rahul became a master chef for Indian cuisine, and he went and did food promotions more than 13 countries. So managing constraints are really important to get forward in life. Obstacles do come, but how you tackle them will decide how you emerge out of the situation. Share your knowledge. It's best practice. Here is an example. Knowledge grows when it's shared. Develop an attitude to help and serve others. We brought nothing into this world and will take away nothing from this world when we die. What we can do, share our knowledge so people can benefit. Here, I would like to quote example of Thomas. He doesn't need an introduction, and he is one of the top 5 chefs in India. He is doing an amazing job promoting Indian cuisine in global way. He was one of the chefs who was instrumental bring changes in Indian semi-formal concept with focus on traditional dishes with a slight twist in a contemporary presentation. Besides this, he was very active in digital media, sharing his knowledge to the budding hospitality and culinary art students, and also nurturing school-going kids about organic farming. Kitchen garden and healthy eating. His canteen classes were very popular among all the budding hospitality, culinary aspiring students. So sharing your knowledge, writing articles, and mentoring others will sharpen your mind. You will get great pleasure when you people growing in front of you. Next comes youngest general manager of India, Varun Mohan. Varun is always well-groomed and presentable, even during his college days. His approach to people was very mature manner, contrary to students at his age. And he was the first one from his family to get into hospitality industry, where all of his family members were doctors. His character and discipline helped him to become the youngest general manager of Hyatt Group. This is no small achievement. Normally, it would take minimum 20 years experience to be considered becoming a general manager. But his performance was so excellent that he became a GM with 9 years of experience. He had displayed leadership skills and had always managed to convince his peers in college. With discipline in his foundation, and he could build upon his skill set. With discipline coming first, and other character traits mentioned above will be highly beneficial for you. This applies not only your career, but your life as a whole. Be flexible with your goals. Very interesting story about Ratish Ramaya. I would like to give you a little interesting story about Ratish. He started his career with Taj Group of Hotels in front office assistant. As a front office assistant, he worked about for 2 years. While he was on shift, he got a call from his classmate Ajay, who was working with one of the leading airlines. Ajay said that he was going to land in Chennai evening at 6:30 p.m. and he invited Ratish for a dinner. But Ratish told him that it will be difficult for him to make for dinner. However, he promised that he would meet him after a shift at early morning, 1 a.m. Ratish went to meet Ajay after the shift. They started talking generally about his work. During the conversation, Ajay persuaded Ratish to try job for a cabin crew. There was a walk-in interview at Oberoi Trident, Chennai for Delta Airways. Ratish went back to his room and asked himself, do I need change my goals? Should I take risk and changing my career goals? Finally, he decided to go for walk-in interview. Reaching the venue, he met more than 100 candidates waiting for the interviews. After 3 hours, he got a chance to go for the first round of interviews. And panel members were very happy. He cleared first round. Then he waited almost 5 hours after the first round. Then he was asked to go home and come back at night 11 a.m. for the telephonic interviews with US counterparts. He attended a second round of interview at early morning 12:30, and he cleared second round and asked to stay back for the third round at again 2 a.m. He got through in the final round. All this happened in one day. He worked in various airlines. Now he is a general manager, Brigade People Technology Solution, Bangalore. Sometimes we feel that right time to take an action and put our plans in motion only to realize that we are wrong. It is essential to analyze our current position and how our activities could influence our future. Sometimes it is better to postpone a specific goal or even change it for the time being. Accepting promotion at a wrong time could get us in a more trouble than good if the time is not right. Challenging time. This is the message for all graduating students of hospitality and culinary arts. Dear students, this is a time for you to take up all these challenges and work positively. I would like to urge each and every graduating batch students. You have so many options to look, and then you can progress in your life. First and foremost, please try to rediscover the home kitchen. Food is a universal need. Eating something all human beings do. Because of this, the meals have been symbol throughout the ages of sharing, nurturing, and loving one another. Remembering, collecting, recording, and passing down the recipes your loved ones have passed to you is a wonderful way to honor and immortalize your family. These traditions from the past are part who you are as an individual. Not only will these recipes follow you to create meals that are meaningful experience, but they will inspire you to create your own versions of dishes to add your own flavors and style. So my advice would each and every one of you, please try and record your family recipe. Try and engage yourself into the kitchen garden. It is give you a lot of self-satisfaction for you to engage yourself into do some kind of physical work wherein you can also look into the commercial aspects of how you can make in a smaller way growing microgreens or producing local vegetable in your terrace. You can be an entrepreneur itself. As you all know, plant-based food getting popular, and I request each and every one of you to give certain put some research work on plant-based food, and you know that the development is the taking in the rapid manner. So this is a time for you to think over it. Try to do novel product development. The novel product development, which means this is a time for you to think how you can create value-added product to local produce. And in terms of there are, as you know, that sometimes our fresh produce is beyond our requirement or not reaching to the correct market, and which is not fetching farmers enough margin. So you as a young budding hospitality and culinary arts students, you need to try and work out some novel product. Now, simple. You must think how to create more than 100 dishes from one single ingredient. The best, the example of Starbucks. Starbucks on an average, they sell more than 20 million cups of coffee, right? And their vision to inspire and nurture human spirit, one person, one cup, a neighborhood at a time. Look at that. What marvelous effort they made to convert one single ingredients to so much of variations. Next, try to create business models wherein you come out with the concept and take the level to commercialization. It's very important. And I'm sure that each and every one of you have potential to do this. Next is reskilling, upskilling. It's very important. The Indian startup space is evolving exponentially. The growth has been largely contributed by newly arrived technology cycle, which has brought a new requirement and hence rapidly changes the existing skills in the labor market. A specialized and diverse skill set is expected out of employees to be relevant in this rapidly changing digital environment. So it is time for you to do reskilling and upskilling. Try to acquire foreign languages as you all got familiar with, a couple of, during your academic tenure, but it is time for you to go beyond that. And also acquire additional qualification through MOOCs. There are several platforms which offer free MOOC courses. I think you must decide and take it forward. The next is very important. It is mental well-being and physical well-being and social well-being. Now, it is a difficult time for a healthy lifestyle, which we are in the middle of a crisis like this. The ceaseless news coverage and constant social media-driven flood of messages increase sense of anxiety, and stress is a normal response to these types of situations. Your mental health influences how to think, feel, and behave in a daily life. It is also affects your ability to cope up with stress and overcome challenges and build relationship, and discovers life setback and hardship. So please try and practice mindfulness, learning breathing exercise, try meditation, limit news consumption to trusted sources, mindful use of social media, be generous and kind to others, don't stigmatize and practice empathy. And physical well-being is also important. You all know that you are confined to sit and listen for so many lectures, and you're not in the formal classroom. So you must set a routine and eat healthy food, get enough sleep, exercise and yoga, maximize productivity while working from home. Social well-being, it's very important, and I do not need to tell you, but please have in control and try to be kind to others and practice gratitude and stay virtually connected with your family and friends. With this, I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Gulshan Sharma and my colleagues, Col Menon and Dr. Jaykumar, for sharing this forum. And now over to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Chef K. Thiru Saab. It was right from the heart and such a wonderful, innovative suggestions. I must compliment you. It was mind-blowing, and I noted each and every word of yours. Very thought-processed, very innovative, and very, very creative. All my hospitality children, I wish to share with all of you. I eat tourism, I sleep tourism, I get up tourism, I think tourism, I dream tourism. Whatever I talk about, my entire life I spent with the tourism. And when I think about this, I wish to share with all of you hospitality, tourism, and aviation and events. These all are interrelated with each other. If one avenue is not doing that well, there are other avenues which are opened up where you can do extremely well. You got to be innovative, you got to be creative. As I mentioned initially, I wish to repeat for you. It's very important for you to understand that health and wellness sector is going to take a lot of hospitality people now, tourism people now, because see, when you enter a 5-star hospital, you've got a customer service, you've got PR department, you've got guest management relation department, you've got cuisine department, you've got housekeeping department, you've got maintenance department. You name the departments, and all the departments except the medical fraternity, all the backup system in the ecosystem is that of hospitality industry. So nothing stops. We have got a lot of new ventures, and something very amazing what he mentioned when he told challenge plant-based food, when he talked about rediscovering the home kitchen garden, when he talked about plant-based food, when he talked about. I'm just such a beautiful presentation. I must compliment you, and let's clap for Professor Chef K. Thiru. It was a wonderful, amazing presentation, and it was right from your heart. I'm grateful to you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now let me extend a very warm welcome to Dr. V Jaykumar. He is the chairperson, hospitality and event management at the PS University, and very hearty welcome. We know event industry is also passing through a difficult times, but the MICE industry, most of us, we must be knowing, meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibitions, but there's a virtual tours and virtual lot of things are happening. Let's hear our friend, Professor Dr. V Jaykumar ji.
Good evening, one and all. At the onset, it's been a pleasure to be on this platform and this amazing platform. Thanks to Dr. Sharma. I mean, you have been a very, very gracious host, I'm sure, and the effort that you have been doing all this while has been fantastic. Personally, I have not seen anyone taking this initiative to spread this idea across borders and across nations. What a wonderful learning opportunity. I mean, for us, we are students for life. And I'm sure each word which you say and the panel say and especially for all the chats that I see. I'm sure this time and specific to this time, the world has become more closer. And I think that's the only way to move forward. Uh, let me begin by saying uh, I'm a student, and what I'll be presenting is from the student's angle, what they should do. Look at events as a career. Maybe if at all there's an event, so there will be some small figures which I'll be also sharing. In addition to it, some of the ideas which a student should remember. And when I say a student, it's everybody who's on this forum. So parents to teachers to professors, we all are students. As Shakespeare rightly said, the world is a stage and we are just the artists. So that sort of sums up the event industry per se. 1 second, sir. I'll just...
Like mice industry, your
yes. So
slide
I'll
is
be
very
focusing
colorful.
on the...
Your slide is very colorful. Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So I have coined a new word specific for this context, asking then who's an eventuer? So we have learned of entrepreneurs, we have learned of techpreneurs. So here is the time for each one of us to become an eventuer, make our life eventful, and maybe also add a little bit of glitz and glamour to the face. Because as Professor Thiru and Colonel had rightly mentioned, we are a human race and we will never get bogged down at whatever stage of our life. I think Dr. Sharma has been a perfect example with the high octane energy that he comes and when he presents. So who's an eventuer? Each one of us is an eventuer. I think with so much of digital media, from Instagram to Chingaris to Facebooks, I think we all are professional event planner. There is no doubt about it. Add on to it, our homemakers, our fathers, our parents, they're all event artists. Imagine budding young graduates, 18 years, 19 years. Why this is specific? Because the art of understanding your life, the magic of life, life as a stage, all comes from our parents. So I hope specific to this stage, hold on to your parents, hold on to the values. I think you can create magic as we evolve over a period of time. Going forward, so if you look at the present scenario, and I'll be limiting my discussion specific to the event industry. It says between March and July, 90% of the event business has been cancelled. Out of 107 companies, another 63.1% have lost revenues up to 1 crore. Many companies, at least 7 companies who are in that 1 crore bracket, feel that they have to retrench their staff close to 50 to 80%. And we see a lot of job cuts happening all across the sector, left, right. We also feel that even if a student has to take a loan in terms of doing a startup, the companies which have already taken a loan, they feel they require at least 6 to 8 months to even keep themselves floating. And imagine for companies close to around 118 to 120 companies where they are struggling to keep afloat. 97 companies generally feel that they still have to raise money. Now, what is the crux of this argument? I would say you as graduates, just imagine the opportunity that you might get after 6 months, 7 months, because there are as many companies which may not be there. Maybe each one of you can create your own event company and you can contribute and you can compete on an equal keel. What is required for you or for all of us is to ensure that we hold on to our brains and get the business of events up and running. So what, as graduates, what you should do? Again, as I repeat, when I say graduates, uh, each one of us, so people who are in the tourism industry, people who are in the MICE industry, people who are in the hotel industry, many event professionals feel that the venues has to be changed. So on the slide, if you see a graduate takeaway, it's for all of us, and maybe keeping in mind the social distancing norms. What you should do is convert all your non-traditional venues into event venues. For example, 2 weeks back, I had a few students of mine who just created their own truck, went into a nice big apartment, asked people to get their own ingredients. They just gave them a space just to dish out some innovative recipe without being cluttered in a specific restaurant or in a specific space. So non-traditional venues might become the ideal space to start your events. There are high possibilities that your regular events inside the hotel may not happen, which is where as a graduates you can innovate and you can improvise. Look at all the venues. I mean, and if this period is going to continue longer, look at your apartment, look at your playgrounds, look at your courts, look at your gyms, anywhere where you feel there is a space and you want to improvise and innovate, take it further from there. We use a term called bleisure, which primarily means try to look at affordable events, which means 71% of this generation feel that all of them have to go to a destination. And as our Prime Minister's wish, he says, go vocal for local. Look at all the destinations within the city where you are living. Look at all the places of visit which you have never seen, say at least in 10 kilometers of your radius. Try to promote it on your social media. Try to promote it on your Instagram handle. I'm sure you'll be doing a great favor to your community. And also, as a person who wants to understand the luxury of being in India, you would be stunned to see your local places of interest are so many. Maybe that itself becomes your deciding factor to start your event entrepreneurship. So what should a graduate look at is look at affordable events, look at smaller destinations, look at destinations near your vicinity, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. And maybe the more you start working with your immediate vicinity and with your immediate community, your business would tend to pick up as the situation improves and as it evolves. The next most important aspect, because social distancing and hygiene is a critical aspect henceforth in all our lives, and it's not going to go away. What as a student community, as a graduate community, what you should be looking at is, as Dr. Sharma rightly pointed out, water to saving. Look at events where you ask your customers to get everything from which is disposable. So the only thing that you have to do is to give them a very hygienic and a safe venue. The customers or your guests can get their own chair, their own tables, their own food. You don't have to worry about it. So if you look at some of the events which are happening now across the globe and which is going to be a part of the Indian event space also, you can look at a lot of innovative ideas to asking customers or asking your guests to get everything that they want. You just create a safe working or an entertaining environment. Why it is important? So that the anxiety which is there across the population, 90% goes out because you feel that everything is yours. You're just having your space on a big stage. And I think that sort of takes care of your beginning of stage of your entrepreneurship in the event industry. What graduates don't realize, and is you don't have to be experienced for 10, 15 years to make a statement. Every voice matters. So if you look at your voice, you create your young voice, the voice of the youth, create your own online community and you spread your word as to what is that you want to do. Create your own voice. And my request is every one of us have a voice. Research says that your word of mouth has close to around 75 to 80% of impact. The other impacts technically doesn't hold as much water as your voice. So graduates should ensure that you create your own online community, get in all your family members, get in all your friends, let them talk about it, share your ideas, share your feelings, because I'm sure many of us who are stuck at home and you want to go out, but I think the situation doesn't warrant now. It's an ideal and a fantastic way for you to go out and maybe create your own virtual online community. Why it is important? Because once your community recognizes the effort that you're taking, it becomes easier for you to market your ideas, and from a marketing initiative becomes an easily saleable proposition. I'll share the ideas as we progress down the PPT. It will evolve. The only thing that as a graduate you should commit yourself is to getting a venue in place, because event and hospitality industry is a contact business, what we say as a contact sport. It's like a wrestling match. How much ever we try to do online, an event industry or the hotel industry will not have the charm if people don't meet face to face. What as graduates you can do now is to ensure that you identify certain venues again within your vicinity. Use lot of search engines to ensure which are the ideal venues which you feel can be used at a later stage, short term and long term. Taking it to the next step, maybe learn to do a simple Photoshops or Corel Draw so that you can create a nice floor plan of the venue. This is going into detailing so that when you are sharing this idea to your community across on a virtual platform, people exactly know where they have to go and maybe park the car or stand for an event. This becomes a critical aspect of the event industry. What we are seeing is in the last 3 to 4 months, there are as many opportunities for people who want to come out, but because they don't know their demographic, they don't know the stage, they don't know the space, it becomes a matter of concern. People don't want to go out. If you see on now, people put a lot of those rectangles and triangles asking you where to stand. The event industry requires you that you share their floor plan or you share where exactly they have to come and maybe start watching your event. Graduates can advertise on your social network. It's a fantastic avenue. Share specific event details to customized and your customized consumers. It becomes more easier. You take your participants into confidence. What should also be done and specific in these times is personalized experiences. A great example is Dr. Sharma again here. If you see the experiences that he has been curating for the last 1 month, unheard of. So specific to our event industry, personalize each individual's experiences. Take on online voting, use your Google Forms, maybe use Facebooks, use Instagram, ask your community what is that they want. I can share an example of one of my good friend, a popular playback singer in the Tamil film industry. She created a lovely platform online, had a very limited set of participants where, and then the participants voted on the sort of playlist or the song they wanted to listen. It was timed well. It was a paid event, but the advantage was people got to hear what they wanted to hear, and it was spaced out evenly. What as graduate you should look at is try to look at silent events. I'm sure we see a lot of movies these days where people just try to listen to the songs of their choice. I think you can definitely customize it. You can choose different speakers at the same time. You can participate in live shows. You want to watch your personal sports. A silent participation is going to be the in thing as the event industry involves or evolves over a period of time. Learn a new software. Uh, as some of the other participants and the speakers were saying, try to learn a new acoustic software, a sound software, a digital software, so that it becomes easier for you to get more participants and they also participate along with your growth phase. What may happen is you are going to create a closed event ecosystem. Half of your business, maybe the next 6 months to 1 year, will happen on your mobile itself. In terms of accessibility, in terms of visibility, in terms of using your tools, the mobile industry is going to be the game changer. I request all graduates to ensure maybe use your handset to a more optimum use. If you look at the data, it says 2019 is 19 billion mobile apps. I'm sure this year it might just double up, and maybe in the next 6 months it might triple up also. Using your mobile to customize events is a fantastic platform for many of the graduates who are coming out, because we also foresee with a lot of jobs not coming, you can use your mobiles, your handset as an ideal or a classic case of building your mobile community also. So you can have an online, you can have an offline. Plan strategies where you can have a lot of people participating in your event through their mobiles, just by having a basic internet ready screen, or what we say as a touch screen technology. Look at experiential playgrounds, virtual spaces. So you have cutting edge technologies like virtual reality, artificial intelligences, acoustics, which come right directly into your headset. There's an amazing platform called Discord, which was launched in month of April. If you use Discord to take your event, I mean, it becomes a great time for graduates to also indulge and engage, and will also help you to generate, at least if not your monthly salary, at least helps you to generate your pocket money. Why it is important is as as the pandemic sort of pans out over a period of time, my idea would be graduates become their own entrepreneurs. There might be case where 1 year to 2 years for entire industry to come back will take some time. I request graduates and I request all their parents to support their kids and wards to ensure they all become entrepreneurs. Classic case being, you can grow your home plants, you can grow your home vegetables, use your mobile, learn new skills, maybe join 6 to 7 friends, your classmates, maybe your seniors, and create virtual takeaway spaces. You can customize and curate your own music shows, your own stand-up comedies, your own jam sessions, your own karaoke sessions. I'm sure it becomes more easier, and also it keeps a lot of people busy, because as we understand, getting stuck at home also takes a little toll on our mental health. So what are the options that a graduate should have? What people have not understood is we also have a virtual world. Graduates, and I think all of us should start doing podcasting, a way of customizing and sharing your voice over different mediums. Podcasting need not be in English. You can podcast in your own mother tongue, because I think there are a lot of people who can take your podcasting and make it bigger. For example, I run a podcasting space called as Tamilpreneur, where we call a lot of local Tamil entrepreneurs and they share their success stories. And you can just download it. You can hear it on Spotify or any of the podcasting platforms. My request is all graduates can look at podcasting as a fantastic platform. It gives you a great avenue to showcase your skills as an entrepreneur, and also for potential recruiters who know or who understand that I have a set of students, youth, who are willing to take up extra additional challenges and maybe will be helpful in my longer run. Look at virtual DJing. I mean, I'm sure it's been there, but I think in the current situation, I know a lot of people work a good amount in with your mobile or with your laptops. Virtual DJing is it's a great opportunity. The modern day and specific in this COVID times, there are a lot of people who want to go online. Graduates, whether hotel management or tourism or the event industry, can create a lot of online contents for companies who don't have the expertise. I'm sure you look at learn a basic skill, as the panel was saying. Learn basics of web design, learn basics of writing a web content. You get a massive job of India doesn't have it. We don't have a lot of people who can write good online content. Create your own blogs, share your own views, and try to get people who will understand your philosophy. I think it becomes a great idea. Look at becoming online sound and video editors. I remember sometimes few months back, India doesn't have a lot of female sound engineers, female video editors. And here we are talking about empowerment. So I think it's a fantastic platform for some of you to learn. There are a lot of online courses which teaches you and which is very, very simple. So again, I request parents to empower their kids to do a lot of work on the online space so it becomes much more easier. You can plan your family weddings. I'm sure they are more closed, but I think to kickstart your career, either you become your own family planner, plan your weddings, get-togethers. It's a great way to start your entrepreneurship. Maybe you can assist your family in their business, whatever they are doing, just to keep yourself busy. We see a recent trend of people becoming online designers, people who are in the fashion trade. Start your own rental companies. If you are well networked, maybe you can get the best of experiences and give it to a customer or a guest who feels that is running short of money, but then you want to build it up. You can become your in-house planner. Maybe plan your family activity for the next 6 to 8 months. Create a planner. I mean, prioritize your work. And I would like to end by saying, go vocal for local. Plan your own destination. Because what we see is specific to the event industry. It will take a little more longer time to come back to the actual live entertainment, live shows. But as a youth, and this is the best part of your life, between 18 to 25 years, hold on to your reins, hold on to your families, hold on to your values, and take cues from the previous panel. I'm sure with your solid, grounded education, family values, and with your way, with your grit and determination, you will go places in life. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful, Dr. V Jaykumar. Wonderful, innovative ideas for the entire MICE industry. I'm so grateful to you because event industry, right from the conceptualization to event planning, event marketing, event management, and event evaluation is next to my heart when I talk about, because event is something a very innovative and a very creative industry, and particularly the podcasting and the virtual DJs to create online contents, blogging, and you gave new venture a female video editors, learn online courses and all. Wonderful, wonderful, great, great, great. Because always one got to be innovative. And of course, the final icing on the cake, which you have done, the family planners. That's again something, a wonderful idea. I must compliment you. So ladies and gentlemen, all boys and girls, nothing is over. The only thing is we switch over from one idea to another idea. And necessity is the mother of invention. You can always come out with the creative, wonderful, new, innovative ideas. And change is only constant in life. We got to understand that. So after such a wonderful hearing from the panel, we are starting a new thing today, and that is something fantastic. You will have some of my youngsters, boys and girls, those who have joined us. 1 minute each you get. You can ask some question, you can pose some question. If you want to give any suggestion, you are more than welcome on that as well. If Miss Varsha Anil has joined, we start with you, Varsha. You can unmute your mic and we can take you first. Go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I'd like to ask a question.
If your internet is working well, then you can show your face also to the whole world.
Sir, I'm sorry. There's a small problem with my camera. So.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Varsha.
So my question is that, inspirations are very different from individual to individual. It's changing all the time. But however,
Okay.
having the right one puts you always on track is what I believe. And it also acts as a driving force to reach our motives. So the question that I have is, as an experienced person in the industry, how would you inspire the young generation to achieve their goals? And
Okay.
what are your thoughts
whom are you
on the
posing this
aspect?
question? Whom are you posing this question?
I'd like to ask this question to Chef Thiru.
Chef Thiru. Okay, Chef
Thiru.
Thiru, you can unmute your mic.
Yes, sir.
You're on the radar now. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, Varsha. You're talking about inspirations. If you see my entire presentation, which with my teaching experience, I have, each trades I have, linked up with your seniors. And I think, it is the best way to get inspired and to continue to get motivated any individuals. First, you have to focus on yourself and not bother about what is happening, what your friends are saying, what your, your your relatives are going to say. But what I would suggest that, keep focus yourself and rest everything fall in place.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Wonderful.
you,
So
sir.
Varsha,
And
that should make you happy.
I would request if Col Menon could throw some light on this.
Chef Thiru has told it all. What is important is to stay focused and don't lose sight of your goals. Own your goals and keep at it. Never give up. Be tenacious. Be grittier.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Col Menon.
Okay.
Now, thank you, Professor Thiru. Now, let me invite Maiti Chetan Shah. If you're there, Maiti, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Maiti, you get full marks because you made your camera work.
Thank you, sir. Thank
The
you.
whole world can see you now. Yes, Maiti.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to whoever's listening. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Gulshan Sharma for, and his entire team for making this webinar happen. It's been wonderful listening to all the panel members. It's been really insightful, but I have two questions. If I could ask them. One is for Chef Thiru and the other one is for Colonel Menon. My first question to Chef Thiru is that with 90% of communication and learning moving to internet-based channels, a lot of times teaching becomes quite one-way and monotonous. So how would you like to maintain a sense of creativity in your teaching methods to engage students better? Like Dr. Gulshan said that gamification is something that can be used. So what according to you are the different methods that
whom are you posing this question, child?
Chef Thiru, sir, to Chef Thiru.
Okay.
Okay.
Thiru, sir, you're on the radar today.
Yes, thank you, Maitri. I'm talking about my personal experience. I have over 30 years of experience. Now, what I did 10 years back and what I did 15 years back, it is obsolete now. So every teacher has to have a mindset that learning. You are learning every day. You have to adapt and change yourself to current situation. Now, always you believe that you have to have a the how you're going to engage students in terms of whatever you're going to teach, and you have to have your own USP. It has to come within. That is why when students accepting some teachers, those even though they have knowledge but they don't know how to put it across. So depends on individual. But if you would ask me, I will always share my experience. If I need to teach you sauce, then I will not talk about how I had gone through, a lot of problems. But I need to tell you that to adapt to current situation, right? One of the days where scratch made mayonnaise is not there. Now we used to break away. That was one of the evaluation criteria of food production practicals. Today it is not acceptable at all because talking about food safety. So you need to equip student to learn scratch made mayonnaise, tell a story which is latest to why we are in need to learn, but you have to tell other side of it that industry, when you go, you will only use scissors and cut open and put mayo and then do some variations. So you need to change and adapt each and every module. It's a big learning for you. So today I walk into kitchen, moment of truth. Earlier it is 30 seconds. Earlier used to be 30 seconds. Now only 3 seconds. Students will know whether I know the topic or I don't know anything. So it depends on me how I attract students and create interest in class. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Thiru. Just to be on the lighter side, taking a liberty to be friendly with you, Professor Thiru, when you mentioned 30 years experience, so you must have joined this industry at the age of 2022, but you hardly look that. You look so young. I feel at the age of 70, I am young, but then when I look at you, you are so young. I'm saying, I must compliment you. I must compliment you.
You are a great inspiration to all of us, sir. So
I have to know. I have to know, what do you eat? I have to know that. Great.
Thank you,
great.
Thank you, sir.
I'm so happy, Chef. So let's have the next one, Madam Swati Suresh. Swati, are you there? You can unmute your mic, child. Swati, you can unmute your mic, child.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible and you're visible.
Oh, hello, everybody. How are you all doing?
The whole world is seeing you. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, first of all, everybody here to give an opportunity for me to talk about something or to raise my questions.
Whom do you want to ask?
So my question is to Chef Thiru.
Everybody is fond of Professor Thiru. Okay, anyway, no worries. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, since the pandemic has happened, everybody is stressing about eating the right food and sticking to healthy food, homegrown food, and stuff like that. So what do you think, what is your opinion on this? Do you think it is better for us to stick to Western medicine and trust Western medicine? Or if we have to adopt new ways into trusting Ayurvedic food and drinking kada and turmeric chai?
Okay. Swati, thank you for asking. It's a great thing, going around in students' mind. Many of us would advise, don't do this, don't do this. But, it is not for, to tell you that you all don't know anything. You all know much better than what we know when in your age. Okay. The only simple thing, we want you all to preserve our culture, right? And we had a history of eating seasonal food and why we are eating. and all that is forgotten. So I humble request you to bring back our roots and continue to try to educate your juniors and next generations, so that India will be free from all diseases. So we had every kind of food which is only to cure certain diseases, and we were trying to we will be incorporating certain ingredients knowingly or unknowingly, which can cure so many diseases.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Thiru. Let me
Thank you.
just switch over to see. We gave so much of respect to the ladies, and we first invited all the girl children, girl child of mine. Now let me just go over to
Thank you,
gentlemen.
sir.
Mr. Dhanyajeet. Mr. Dhanyajeet, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yeah, you are very handsome boy. You're a very handsome boy. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Firstly, warm greetings to everybody. Am I clear?
You are visible. You are handsome. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Firstly, I'd like to thank the International Chamber of Service Industry and Dr. Gulshan Sharma for providing this amazing platform. And then I would also like to thank Dr. V Jaykumar, Col K C Menon, and Chef Thiru for providing all the amazing inputs and insights.
Your question, please.
Yeah, I have two questions. So to start,
okay.
Yes. So to start with, my first question is for Dr. V Jaykumar. Sir, you spoke about innovation in the event industry. So I came across this new something new concept where there has been a lot of virtual events going on. So basically the moderators, they buy full rights to a platform, and then they create all backgrounds, and then they conduct virtual events. Will this survive? Are people actually liking it, or are they just giving it a try because it's something new? Is there a future for it? If not, what other ways can we innovate events?
Okay. Thanks, Dhanyajeet. I mean, I'll answer it in two parts. Virtual events are here to stay because it sort of transcends boundaries. So if you're not able to hear it at this time, anywhere part of the world. But again, in my course of my presentation, what I said was hospitality events are a contact sport. So
exactly.
Maybe post this pandemic, the event industry is going to come back and maybe bounce back maybe 10 times bigger. What as students you should be doing is learn your ideas from the virtual event and maybe try to translate it on the ground once the situation improves, which is why running an online trade becomes that much important. For example, and again, I reiterate, look at local spaces. We don't know when was the last time we had a gilli danda competition.
True. Yes, sir.
I'm sure it will be a huge hit. People don't even know. I mean, maybe you can do it in a community, if not for money, ask people to share their food and maintain social sort of distancing. Go local. I mean, go to the ground. I mean, I'm sure youth can create magic in it. What we are trying to tell you is go back to the roots. India has a huge tradition, forgotten. Maybe if you're able to just catch hold of 1% of half of your issues will be sorted out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So
can I ask my second question?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. My second question is for Col K C Menon. Since you have been into HR a lot, this question I'm asking on behalf of most of the students across the globe. So there are two types of students which I've mainly observed when it comes to employment. So there's an overachiever who scores a lot in all tests and exams, who takes part in all workshops, has a lot of certifications and so on. But then there are chances that he will not get employed at a lot of places. And then there's another situation where there's a student who's average in his studies, who does not have much certifications and who does not have much experience throughout his academic career. But then when he attends an interview, there are chances he'll get it in his first try. So what is your take on this? And what is the best way to prepare for a career rather than to have an amazing academic career?
I like this question because I've been in the field of selection for a good number of years, interviewing young boys and girls for jobs in the services, and then again in the hospitality industry. See, every individual is different. You heard me speak about Hari.
Yes.
Hari's marks were at least 10% lesser than ours. You understand? And if
Yes.
Hari spoke, he was not very effective. He barely knew the language. But then he was made of gold. See, every person who comes to an HR person for interview is an individual. You're supposed to speak to him and try to decipher. Marks alone is not everything. There may be some people who cannot do well in exams. There are people who would be sincere, committed, and you require all types of people. I, as an HR person, never thought that marks alone are important. I would like to see the person, see what are their interests, look into their potential, and I always used to ask about their future plans and all that. There's a young lady chef in ITC Grand Central whom I had recruited. So I asked her, will you stay for 2 years? So she said, sir, I will stay for 5 years. Now this girl is there with ITC for about 17, 18 years. Recently, she got promoted to management. And every time I used to meet her, she says, sir, you said me 2 years. I've stayed for 12 years. I talked to their chef, repeatedly kept at it, and made sure that she got into management. I said, such a good, fine resource. Her name is Mozan Kharbari, and she is in ITC Grand Central, a wonderful person. I hope I have answered what you wanted from me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's switch over now to my friend Shahid Umer. Ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing now this new strategy in this webinar. Every day, I will get about 10 students coming up, 10 youth coming up, and they would also be a part at the end. And that is the way it is going to give an opportunity, a lot of youngsters to understand what is event industry, how to become a little bit more affirmative, confident, and to talk about the subject, ask the relevant question, and that would give you the vision. I also started your way. So now let me just extend a warm invitation to Shahid Umer. Shahid, you can unmute your mic wherever you are. Yes, Shahid. Go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity.
Such a handsome boy. Such a handsome boy. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to thank all the panel members also. Extremely informative presentation. My question is to Chef Thiru. Do you recommend students pursue their higher education right now in this current situation? Do you think it'd be beneficial for hospitality students in general?
Thank you. Good evening, Shahid. It is my personal opinion would be yes. This point of time, it is better to pursue higher education. Try to do it in India because it is not conducive to go to abroad. This point of time, you know, international borders have not opened, and many international universities are going to engage students through online classes. But my suggestion would be do it in India. And it is good at this point of time. You can, start thinking about going for higher education.
Thank you, Professor Thiru. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chef. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Could I now go to my friend Ghaghan, Lokesh?
Good evening to everyone.
Yes.
Thank you for this amazing webinar to everyone. And my question first is addressed to Mr. Col K C Menon, sir.
Oh, I remember you now. I told you earlier something very interesting. Ghaghan, you
Yes,
remind me of a very intelligent boy from Three Idiot movie who was always scoring 98, 99% marks. And that Amir Khan always used to tell him, hey, you keep studying only. I hope you're not studying only, you are working also sometime and enjoying the life also.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm not studying at all, sir. I'm just about to graduate right now. So,
Okay, go ahead, sir.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
So it's to Mr. Colonel KC, sir. So since you're in the HR industry, you've been part of it and you've been seasonally experienced in that. Recently, there's been around 3.8 crore jobs that have been lost in the tourism and hospitality industry. And this is probably one of the worst times for students like us to graduate in this industry. So I'm for people who don't have jobs as of now, or people who have jobs and have already lost it. And I think I'll be asking this question on behalf of millions of students who's graduating. How would you suggest the way forward is?
I think so. Now I must speak like Angela Duckworth and say, frankly, I don't have an answer, to be honest to you. See, every industry, everyone has got affected. It is difficult times. This calls for resilience. There are a number of, I am in touch with both Dr. Jaykumar and Chef Thiru and many others institutions. A lot of these students have been selected, but the hotel companies are not currently recruiting. They have told them to hold on. But as Professor Jaykumar said, it is a matter of time. All these things will come to an end. You need to hold on. You have to hone your skills, get better. See, you all are now students, very fortunately. You all don't have additional responsibilities after looking after families, etc. This is a time where you must concentrate to become good in your skills, acquire more skills, become better in various things, become multi-skilled. There is a world of opportunity for you to learn. I must tell you, I must admit, yesterday I was speaking to Professor Jaykumar and Chef Thiru, and they were asking me whether I was familiar with Zoom. I said, I will manage. And I must incidentally tell, this is the first time I am doing something on Zoom. I had no idea. But then what I mean to say, there is always a way ahead. And every day, I am not a student, but I study, read, and I work for almost 10 to 12 hours a day. But of course, there is a grit paragon here amongst us. That is Dr. Sharma, who starts at 4 in the morning and he goes on till I don't know what time. I don't know when he sleeps. Therefore, this is the time for you to build your skills. Look at the positive side of it. If you become better in these days, you can utilize this time and do something far better. So that is what I would tell you. But very frankly, I also told you the first part, things are uncertain. We have to wait and watch. But there is always a silver lining in the cloud and things will become better. Everything, good or bad, comes to an end in this world. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Col Menon. Ghaghan, I would just like to share, because I come from the same industry. If you heard the fellow speakers and panelists carefully, they gave you a lot of creative ideas. They gave you some new avenues. And when our Professor Chef Thiru was talking, now I would request you, start thinking about health and wellness industry. From hospitality to hospital, not much of difference. I have already told you. It's only doctors and nurses you minus. Rest the entire hospital is run like a hospitality establishment. You got to take it from that point of view. Second part, people would love to now, the future is, if I share with you, is shifting from health to the wellness industry. Wellness industry is going to have more revenue, more inputs, more segments, more ingredients. Then people would not like to go for surgery. People would rather like to go for Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, naturopathy, nutrition, organic. What I would request you is, when you have done the hospitality program, Professor Thiru covered so many wonderful points. Why don't you start working on plant-based food and then kitchen gardens, rooftop farming, and start telling nutrition, food, start talking about healthy food. And there is a glutton or something, what a particular kind of a food. Then there is another industry coming up, vegan food. Lot of new ideas are coming. And he also gave you that coffee example. I mean to say, if you just look into, it is not that that one segment is getting closed, so you don't have the new opportunities or new avenues. And let me share with you, everybody wants to remain young, everybody wants to remain healthy, everybody wants to remain fit till the last day, and that is only possible if you consume the right food at the right time, in the right proposition, and in the right ingredients. So hospitality industry will never be out of profession. The only thing is we got to understand. And same thing, when I talk about event industry, he has given you, the professor V Jaykumar has given you a lot of inputs, a lot of new ideas. And today I have noted down when he has talked about, he's doing podcasting, the virtual DJs, and couple of other programs, small groups, very selective groups, high spending groups. So you got to be innovative and creative. एक दरवाजा बंद होता है तो 10 दरवाजे खुलते हैं, और एक जगह से अगर अपॉर्चुनिटी क्लोज होती है तो 100 जगह से नई अपॉर्चुनिटी खुलती है. Necessity is the mother of invention. You've got to be creative all the times. It has never happened that the webinar has gone up to 9:15 from 7 o'clock. Today the world is with you. People are still with you. They are watching you. That means they are really enjoying your webinar. So with these words, a new beginning from Karnataka today, a new beginning from South today, that we have started getting the young boys and girls also. So now this we will follow with the panelists. We will also give an opportunity to 8 or 10 kids. They will come every day. And I'm looking forward to a lot of participation from overseas as well. And those of you, those are interested, please send your details at innovation@ICSI.Asia. Innovation@ICSI.Asia. Each one of you will get an opportunity, and no idea is good, no idea is bad, no idea is less creative, no idea is more creative. You got to express your idea, come out with your ideas, and that's why this platform, making education relevant, and making education relevant for future. History is not only to be read, books are not only to be read, books are to be rewritten also. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let me convey my deep gratitude and thanks. I think Col Menon, did you do you want to mention about the book about that lady onto the grit? The last point from you.
Yes, definitely. I would
Go
like
ahead, go
to
ahead.
speak. I'd like to speak about this book on grit. Excellent book. Why passion and resilience are the secrets to success. What is a book review over here? That this book has changed the landscape to education. An excellent book. I read it from front to back. I suggest you all read it.
Okay.
In fact, most of what I spoke was what is the work of Angela Duckworth. Remarkable.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Col Menon. And I would just compliment and supplement my brother from the armed forces. You can watch, there are more than 30 videos of Angela on the YouTube. Don't spend money in the COVID-19 on purchasing a book. I just differ from Col Menon on that. Okay. But that I'm telling in a lighter way, on a humor way. Books are always to be read. And if you can get an access, and there is so much of information available nowadays, it's up to you how you can take out your creativity. Remember what Dr. V Jaykumar was telling, writing a blog, writing something, creative writing. There are so many opportunities. So with these new opportunities, while conveying my deep gratitude and thanks to each one of you world over, wherever you are, thanks a lot for joining us. Bring more and more people over here. Bring more and more creative people over here. If you're not in a position to log in, you're walking, you're talking, you're moving somewhere, come on the Facebook Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page. I would be more than happy. My mission and my vision is Bharat ke Swatantrata Divas wale din. I want 1 million people to be a part of this particular journey and this particular group. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, thanks and great salutations to all of you. Green morning, green afternoon, green evening, and green good night to everyone. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.